All right, let's go ahead and get started with our Peter Max inspired drawing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with Sharpie. You don't have to start with Sharpie if you don't want. You can start with a pencil and then you could trace over your drawing with a Sharpie, or you could also use black crayon or black oil pastel if you're more comfortable starting with pencil. I'm just doing Sharpie to start for the sake of this video. If I wanted it to look really perfect, I would probably start with pencil too. I'm putting down a cup to trace my sun. Okay, it's not something I do all the time, but I really wanted to get a really perfect circle shape. And I am trying to emulate Peter Max's art, and that's a really perfect circle shape, so it's okay to use a tracer. All right, for this part up here, we're gonna do some sun rays. All kinds of happy sun rays. You can decide how wide you want your sun rays to be, how many you want to do. We're just being inspired by Peter Max, but we don't need to copy. We can do our own thing. It doesn't have to look exactly like his. And now in the water, you kind of have this reflection of the sun and it goes outward this way. So I'm going to use my fingers to train my brain and tell my brain that that's how I want to draw it here. And I'm going to draw a wavy line out. That's pretty good. And now in his painting, he has some flowers over here. And they're not super realistic. They're kind of more abstract, cartoon-like. So you could really do whatever kind of flowers you want. Sometimes you can't even tell what he's got going on over there. I think that's looking pretty good. Maybe I'll make one with some kind of stem. Connect that. Again, it's not really realistic, but it's definitely in his style. And that's what we're going for. All right, so there's my interpretation of Peter Max's painting. The next step, once you've outlined in Sharpie or oil pastel, is you'll go ahead and add your watercolor. Remember, I dip my brush in, I give it a little swirl. I want to do a bright yellow sun. Now I want to show you how you can blend these colors. So you'll notice that Peter Max's painting, it almost looks like a sunset. So I'm going to add in some red. I'm never going to add red into my yellow paint palette, but I am going to add it into my painting itself. And then because it's watercolor, I can spread the color how I want it. Maybe add some orange. Blend it in. Might need some more yellow at the top. If you go back into a lighter color, just make sure you really rinse off that brush. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to take the sunset down into the water. It's kind of like a reflection on the water. Spreading it out. The sun would be reflecting on the water, so it would have that orangey, pinky, yellow look to it. If you want to do more blues in your water, go for it. This is going to be your interpretation. It's a little trickier down here, but because I'm using yellow, I don't even have to be so careful. If I go over some of the flowers and I don't want those to be yellow, that's okay. I can just go over it later once my yellow dries up a bit.